So, since this video will go on YouTube later, I need to do a brief introduction, and the brief introduction will be like this. There are a lot of monsters in the, so to speak, open world map of the game, and if you could kill them every day, they will give you a nice beefy chunk of XP. It's not a life-changing amount of experience, but if you can do it every day, a little bit like the artifact fodder grind in Genshin Impact, it's going to give you quite a decent amount of XP. Bailu is 61, almost 62, Bronia almost 62, Welt almost 61, and all of this XP, all the XP past 60 that I did, has come from this farming expedition. And it's important to do it just with characters that can gain XP. All of these characters have been ascended past 60, but even though they're not my best one. Because if I wanted to do the expedition quick, I would use Sealy, but Sealy is already at 70, so it will be a waste of XP. So I'm using these 4, but really any team works as soon as the mobs get killed quickly. It takes me, well, if I'm using Sealy, 1 hour. Probably less than 1 hour to do the full run. Just because Sealy tends to one-shot all the trench monsters in 1 round or just a couple of attacks. With this team it usually takes me a little bit longer. Plus the AI sometimes does not use Sushan abilities very well, and so it wastes a little bit of skill points here and there. And that's literally the only monster in the base zone. After the base zone we can go to the storage zone. There are a few more. We can start here from the Calyx. There's 2 monsters we can kill in the Calyx. One is down here. If you want to be Omega Meta, you can use the technique of your characters. The problem is that you will eventually run out of technique points, and then you need to worry about finding the nodes that let you recharge them and all this sort of stuff. And it annoys me. And this is something that very often I do on my commute to work. So what I do is, on the way to work, I will do the Herta Station and Jarilo VI or 6, I don't remember the number. And then Space Leo, I will do it on the way back. Have I been using my wishes? Well, I pulled for the Jingyuan weapon, but not for Jingyuan. So I used a few primogems, a few jades there, because I wanted his weapon, because it feels a bit like it's the stuff of Homa for characters like Serval, Himeko, and you know, those kind of characters. It's a very, very good light cone with great stats that are perfect for Jingyuan, but can fit pretty much anywhere. But Jingyuan, no, because it has 2 problems for me. Before that, after here, we can go to this teleport. Outside the control center, 1st floor, there is a bunch of stuff we can kill. It reminds me a bit of Eula. What I mean by that is that his follow-up attack, it's not something that triggers automatically. It ends up there in the action, like in the line of actions that happen during the turn. It's backloaded damage. After Eula, I'm not playing another backloaded damage character. It would just make me upset. I know that it will happen to trigger times that there is nothing left to kill, or sometimes it will trigger like I want it to trigger but it's not there. So nope, not playing that kind of character. Regardless of the performance. Maybe 1 year from now I will be kicking myself thinking, no, I missed Jingyuan, he's the most meta. But no. Not for me, not for me. Plus, there are so many characters that I want to get in the next few patches that I cannot just use Primogems, Jade for someone like Jingyuan right now. Because I definitely want to pull for Silver Wolf, probably for Luocha, and after that there are Kafka and Blade. So, of the next 4 characters, there are 3 that I want for sure, and 1 that I very likely want. It's going to be rough. Luckily, both for Silverwolf and Luocha, I think I will not care about their Lightcon, so it will be just a matter of pulling the character. Which is annoying because I went too far. There is nothing past here. And in the supply zone, we can start from here, from the electrical room. For characters, there is still the annoying thing that we get a 50-50, whereas weapon banners here are a lot better than in Genshin Impact, because you get much higher chances of getting the weapon that you want. But still, the next couple of patches in Honkai Star Rail will be a little bit rough for my Jade's savings. Unless it turns out that Kafka and Blade weapons, Lightcons, are not that amazing compared to 4-star or 5-star options for a shop. Because if, I don't know, Kafka will be Nihility, which is the same as Wealth. If Wealth weapon for Kafka is like 5%, 10% less than her signature weapon, then whatever, we just get Wealth weapon and we're good with that. I doubt it will be like that, because Kafka's kit relies a lot of damage over time, whereas Wealth weapon, I believe it gives 10% crit rate, but I do not have that weapon. Let me check the shop. Starlight Exchange. Oh no, okay. Like, this sounds all very, very good for a character that is damage over time oriented. Because damage over time characters don't care about crit rate, crit damage, stuff like that. They only care about damage, the main scaling stat, which for Kafka should be attack percentage, and effect hit rate. So, if her scaling is the same as Wealth, and I can use his weapon on her, that will be a nice saving of Jade. But we shall see, it's a very long time from now, more than 2 months from now. Let's keep killing stuff. This is something that I really enjoy doing. Because... Oh, I went the wrong way. No, it's not the wrong way. I enjoy doing it, but I still need to get used to it. The problem is we do not have pins in Honkai Star Rail, unlike Genshin Impact. So I need to actually memorize where to go. It's not super easy, especially in the Space Liyue, because there are many paths going left and right, up and down, and it's easy for me to forget where to go. I would say the Herta Station and Jarilo are pretty easy to remember. Thank you, Wisebreed, thank you. Welcome. But for Space Liyue, every now and then I need to close the tab, put in the background the tab of Honkai Star Rail on my phone and open the pictures that I took of the map of the places where we are supposed to go. And here we want to go to this teleport of the Calyx, and then we enter the magical area next to it. By magical area, I mean this place here, the control device. It takes us to this room, and there are a couple of things we can kill. I've been doing this every day for a week. And the reason why I didn't do it longer is that I could not find all the monsters before them. So I had to do exploration during the first few days, mark everything on a piece of paper, because I'm very old style. And then I took screenshot of the whole map and I marked the locations of the monsters. And so now I have a file on my computer that shows me where to go, so that even if I forget, and it happens to me, not often, but it happens, I can keep an eye on the file and it will tell me where to go. It's a very nice amount of XP. Very, very nice amount of daily XP for all the characters of the team. plus all the resources from the monsters. I'm at a stage in the game that I killed so many monsters that I do not need the resources anymore on any of my characters. It's a bit like Genshin Impact, where after a few months of playing, I had the cap of all the materials for the healing tools, because every day on the map I was killing everything. That's just how it is for me. And after this we can go to Jarilo VI. The first one is the outlying snow plains, which is very easy, it's a straight line, and we start from here, from the Calyx. And right now I'm not at the cap of the components for this game, but I have a lot. So every time that I'm ascending something or someone who needs the components from the monsters, I just craft them and I have an endless amount. I never need to go to farm them or drop them or whatever. Dazed and chicken peel. Why does she summon a huge cock? I do not understand it. Her animation in Honkai Impact is so different. And it's glorious, by the way. In Honkai Impact, she summons a Giga Sword, basically the same sword that she has, but she summons it from the sky, like the clouds open, and there is a Giga Sword that drops on the enemy, and there is a super explosion. It's glorious. And here she has a massive cock. I don't know why. I really don't understand. There are some things in MiHoYo's games design decision-making that I cannot fully explain, even after playing their games for quite a long time. But one day we will understand them. The main reason why I decided to start doing a farming route, taking note of all the locations of the monster in the map, was that a day I wanted to showcase something, and I could not find the monsters. Particularly, I went to the area of the Kokolia weekly boss fight, and I was wandering around looking for monsters, because in my brain I could clearly remember there were some monsters that I could kill, but I cannot find them. It turns out there are monsters in that area, quite a few, but they're always in the same locations, they're not close to the weekly boss fight, and that's when I started to do my work properly, taking note of the locations of the monsters. The thing that worries me a bit is that on Herta's space station there is not a lot. There's a few monsters, but not many. Then we go on Jarilo VI. There's quite a few, not many in the first area, but they get more and more. Then on Space Liyue there are a lot of monsters, all spread around in weird places. So, I'm really concerned about the second part of the map of, what's it called, Space Liyue, and the new areas after that. But I'm guessing it's going to be inspired to Japan, because... I mean, we started a space station, let's not consider that for a moment, but the first area that is a city hub in Honkai Star Rail basically looks like Victorian era Europe, more or less, and the second one looks like China. Let's think about Genshin Impact for a moment. It's about the same. And after the outlying snow plains, we go to this place, the Backwater Pass. There is a bit of stuff to kill at the top. We go to this teleport, the Leisure Plaza, and the rest will be at the bottom. Again, when you pass by one of these things, you can recharge your technique points, because some of them can make your fights a bit quicker. Especially against these trash monsters, because most of the techniques give you a buff that only lasts for 1 or 2 rounds, and these fights will basically always last 1 or 2 rounds, so you're getting the full benefit and it's pretty convenient. Sushang is basically like a budget Sealy that works very well against the early game monsters, because most of them are weak. I almost died there. Most of them are weak to physical damage, so she just obliterates everything. She solos the universe, basically, in the first 2 worlds of the game. In Space Liyue, not so much. But she's still fine, it just takes me a little bit longer. I wish I left my Zeely with lower XP, because I leveled it up to 69. First of all, it's a funny number. Second, I was expecting it... you know, she would make it to 70 around the time that I would get to the next ascension. But no, she made it to 70 before then. And after clearing the north part of the map, we go to the Calyx, because the next batch of monsters is around here in the south. My pathing may not be Omega Meta, but I try to make things as quickly and expedite as possible. Because most monsters spawn in a line, and those that do not spawn in a line spawn near a teleport. There is a little bit of walking around to do in Space Ligue, and I prefer to do a little bit of walking rather than using extra teleports. Because extra teleports, you need to open the map, you need, especially when you're on the phone, then you need to swipe the map, you need to select the next teleport. Sometimes I misclick because my thumbs are too big, and I hate myself for buying a phone that is not big enough. So when there is an extra 10 seconds of walking over a teleport, I will always take the extra walking. I will put the maps later, probably in the description. I will upload them on some hosting website, and I will put them in the video description after I upload the video. And then you can decide if you want to do teleporting around or walking around and following the video exactly. Following exactly what I'm doing in the video. Dazed Bronya. I would be tempted to pull a little bit on Jingyuan's banner for Constellation for Tingyun and Sushang. But Sushang's most important Eidolon is the first one, this one here, where she gets an extra skill point after breaking weakness. So, considering that she already has the most important one and the rest is just, you know, extra happiness and a serotonin release for my brain, I think I will not be using Jades, especially considering how many characters I want to pull for in the near future. This pack of monsters is the last one in this map. After this we move to the next map. I do not remember at all. I do not remember the name of that map. Because I'm good at remembering the routes and the locations of the monsters, but not the names. What's the name? It's this one, the Corridor of Echoes. There is a monster right here, a pack of monsters right there at the top, next to the Cavern of Corrosion, and then we need to change area. And unless I missed something, like a single pack of mobs in a faraway corner that I completely missed, this farming route has all the monsters available on the map right now, like every single one. There is a possibility I missed something in a corner or in an area of the map, Stagnant Shadowland next, in an area of the map that I completely missed exploring, but it should not be like that. Everything should be in this guide. It's quite time-consuming. It's when I use this character, it's about 1.5 hours, close to 2 hours when I play from my phone, which is a little bit slower. Hopefully it will be a little bit quicker here. Let's go back to the teleport. It will be a little bit quicker because I'm playing from my computer right now. Oh, that was not meta. I wasted some unique point. But still, it requires a little bit of time. I would suggest to do it for the resources, but if it feels like a tedious task, you can skip it. It's about, in my experience, and I don't know if it's fixed, it's between 35 and 40,000 XP. The amount should be fixed each day because the monsters, like, the amount that you can kill is the same, and then they do not give a variable amount of XP as far as I know. It looks fixed. And to me it looks between 35 and 40k XP. Which, if you have 4 characters that you are leveling up, you need to multiply that amount by 4. It's somewhere in the 150k range. That's quite nice. Because it's all saved up resources that you would otherwise have to spend energy on. And considering that I like playing the game and it autoplays, so it's fairly convenient even if I'm at work and I'm pretending to work, there is nothing here. Oh, well, we need... Oh my god, my brain is bamboozling me. I think we need to go to the command center, yeah. Yes, there we go, there we go, there we go. So yeah, unless you find it a super tedious task, try to clear stuff. Especially, I would say, the Herta Station and Jarilo are really worth it just because it takes no time. The monsters are lower level, you get fewer resources, you get less stuff, but it's very quick, it's just a few fights and you can still get a little bit of XP. Space Liyue takes a lot more time, really a lot. Giga cock. It's always a bit jarring, but... Okay, let's keep going. We need to kill that guy, but we actually need to turn to the right, so we do not go straight. I've been bamboozled here a few times, but after killing that guy I tend to go straight, because my brain would prefer to go straight, but that's actually the wrong direction. And it's not a big issue on the Herta Station and here on Jarilo, but it will become an issue on Space Liyue, on the Luofu, whatever it's called, if you have not completed all the main quest. Because there are some paths on the Luofu that you really want to have all the quests completed to be able to have access to all the monsters. After the farming route, which would take me quite a bit of time actually, I will be doing a few simulated universe runs, because during the last couple of days I saved a little bit of energy, you know, the craftable one in the simulated universe, so that today I can do some relic farming. Recently I'm farming in the Corrosion Caverns, the set that is good for Serval and Jeopard, because the defense set and the lightning set come from the same domain. So I'm trying to farm a few decent pieces for those two characters. After that is done, I may consider going to the Fire Imaginary Damage Cavern of Corrosions to equip a little bit better my Himeko and Wealth. Especially because now that I have a light cone that is very good for a Himeko, I'm hoping her performance will be a little bit better. I'm really hoping she will perform like other characters of the game, because she's not very good. There are occasions every now and then when there are like 4 monsters that are all weak to fire and you have everything up on Himeko and she feels glorious, but for general use she's so underwhelming. It's a pity, because her design and characterization are so glorious. So glorious. Okay, we're done here. Now we go to the the place that made me start, which is this one, because it all started when I came here looking for a monster to kill, and I was looking around and I could not find anywhere. I'm like, wait a moment, I remember killing some stuff, where is it? Well, it turns out that the monsters are around here and around here. So we can start from this teleport here on the left. Oh, you didn't hear my answer about the wish. Well, the best way to level up is just, you know, use this stuff. It's the best way. We get it as rewards, we get it daily, we get it when we send our team members to... Where is it? Is it in the Astral Guide? It's not in the Astral Guide. Where are they? The assignments. When you send characters to assignments, you can get some, or you farm them using energy. And... oh, Trailblazer level. Oh, just play the game. Just play the game. Because quest, achievements, and all the sorts of stuff give you Trailblazer level power. Hunt chests, because chests give you Trailblazer level. Some achievements give it, let me think, pretty much anything that uses energy gives you Trailblazer level. So when you make it to 40, you will probably jump to 42 or 43 straight away just farming relics. Was that the last one? No, one more. And the wishes, I use them on the weapon for Jingyuan, but not Jingyuan himself. I will be saving my leftover Jade, which is around 8,000, because I want to get too many characters in the coming patches. This farming, by the way, gives 0 Trailblazer XP. Because we don't get it from killing monsters on the map. We get XP for the characters, but not for the Trailblazer. I do not remember if clearing stuff in the Memory of Chaos gives Trailblazer XP, but I do not remember it in the rewards. It's so out of place. It reminds me of a burst of Pardophelis in Honkai Impact. That Honkai Impact is this very serious game with a very deep plot in terms of narrative, and then Pardophelis summons a Giga Cat that explodes. And Sushang summons a Giga Chicken that explodes. For reasons. After this fight, I think we go to the mine map. Let's see what's the order. In my brain, I memorized it according on how they show up here in the map order. Boulder Town, there is nothing. Great Mine, yes. For the Great Mine, I always start from this one in the south, the main mine shaft. Because it's basically a dead end. We go in this direction, there is a few monsters to kill, following this path on the map, and then we need to change. $7,000? 6,500. Not an amazing damage dealer, but his utility is so good. I think the most I've seen from wealth in the simulated universe was around 30,000, but in simulated universe we get some absolutely crazy damage multiplying blessings and curios, so it's not really a reliable way to say, oh yeah, wealth deals a lot of damage. No, not like that. My Zili usually hits in the, I would say, 30k range on a crit on her burst, sometimes a bit less than that depending on buffs, but she can go well above 100k in the simulated universe with the right buffs. But that's not her average damage. I don't know why, Sushang animations remind me a bit of Noelle. Probably because she wields her sword like a claymore. She deals a lot of damage. Her build is really mediocre, but she deals a lot of damage. She's a very good character. Then we want to move to this Calyx, because the rest of the monsters are all in this direction, more or less. When there is a multi-pack of monsters like that, and we get the chance to start the fight with all of them at the same time, oh, I love it so much, because it saves time. Just for that. And the thing that is really great about Star Rail is that I can sep T without having to stop the game. How come my cup of my jug is not closing? Oh, because there is a piece of ice. Okay, good. There are times that the AI insists to use the last skill point on Bronya yeah, exactly, to move to her, and then she does not have any skill point and she can only use the normal attack, and it feels so bad. Why would you do that to me, game? And he does it so often. Or times that Sushang has the burst up, and you could do something like use a normal attack or a skill to deal damage, and then use the burst, and then it's again her turn and use another normal attack or skill. And instead the AI goes automatically into the burst. And it melts my brain, it really triggers me. But I noticed that letting the game itself play suboptimally is still a time saver compared to doing things manually, just because I don't need to do any input. And on average, not having to do any input saves time compared to the suboptimal play of AI. In the simulated universe, sometimes I need to be careful because I failed a few runs actually, because the AI was hitting the wrong stuff. Hitting monsters that were immune to damage, or hitting monsters that were being forever healed, and other things, and I just, you know, picked up my phone that was on autoplay and found out that all my characters were dead. And it was the end of my simulated universe run. It felt a bit bad. It's not a big deal because we can restart it, but it still feels a little bit bad. Especially because the best rewards that we can get are from the boss of the simulated universe. So not killing it, it's a little bit annoying. Because the thing that I prefer from a simulated universe is that we can get the material that is used as fodder to level up relics. And at the moment, the thing that I miss the most is relic fodder, and it really activates my almond. Because at the moment, if you open YouTube and you put Honkai Star Rail, the suggestions from YouTube will be an endless amount of videos where you can only read the free-to-play in all caps, like super shiny, because YouTube know that it works very well as clickbait. It will be in the thumbnail, it will be repeated 25 times in the title, it will be in the description, everything is only free to play. Fine. And they show you a clear of the... it's usually not the simulated universe, but you know, the memory of chaos, that kind of thing. With some 5-star characters, some 4-star characters. Free to play, free to play, free to play. Okay. All the relics are fully leveled up. Most characters have all 5-star relics. I have a few doubts about that. Because I do not do daily energy refills using Jades unless I really need to ascend a character or a cone or something, and I reckon that I only need one refill. One refill a day for me is fine. I believe I have 3 relics that I full leveled up in my account, playing from day one and using all the fuel from the free and from the paid battle pass, and all the fuel that I use that I got from Pompon until Trailblazer level 55. Most of that stuff went into relics, and I did not get enough fodder to level up my gold relics to 15. Apart from 2, maybe 3. So when I see videos of people with the free-to-play tag shown in caps everywhere, and all their relics are fully leveled up, it really activates my almond. Rivet Town, yeah, we want to go to Rivet Town. There is stuff here, and then there is stuff there. I will start from the top, from the orphanage. We need to go down the stairs, not up the stairs. There was a thumbnail that I saw on YouTube a few days ago. It triggered me so much because I could not see what the image was. Like, it was completely blurred out and it was very dark. I could only tell that it was a screenshot from within the game, but I have no idea what it was. And then I would say 1/3 of the screen were just free to play, you know, F2P. written in all caps. I think it was white with some shiny background. What the fuck? That's not even content. It triggers me, Especially in a game that is very generous in terms of pools and other things like Honkai Star Rail, and so the term free-to-play is very... Like, it includes a lot of players. You can be free-to-play right now and have 4 or 5-star characters easily in this game. Or 3 5-star characters and a light con. Or any combination in between. But, you know, free-to-play for one reason or the other is clickbait, and it works. So a lot of content creators do it. Oh, I did not include in the pool. Feels bad, man. Especially because this is the last pack of monsters in this part of the map. After this we need to go to the other teleport to the southwest? Yeah, southwest. The one where we need to go up the stairs. Here. Here we want to go up the stairs. This process is slowed down by the fact that the game is in turns. I wish there was a way to tell the game, look, I can just kill this stuff very easily. Can you just let me get the rewards? A bit like when you go to a pack of monsters in Genshin Impact and you have a very old account and you basically press 2 normal attacks and everything is dead. And that's very convenient in Genshin Impact. Here, you know, between finding the monsters, starting the encounter, and actually starting to use the skills, it takes a little bit longer. I'm sure that eventually I will not be doing a full farming expedition, but that is something that I will probably stop doing much later in the game. A bit like in Genshin Impact, I stopped doing elite farming and artifact fodder run after, I would say, a year and a half, close to 2 years in the game. The last map here on Jarilo where we can kill stuff is the robot settlement. We start here, from the west, from the Calyx. The reason is that after playing Genshin Impact for a long time, a very, very long time, the amount of characters that you need to build patch after patch is greatly reduced. And the amount of artifacts that you will level up is also greatly reduced. So you need fewer fodder materials for artifacts, you need fewer materials to ascend characters and weapons. So eventually you really don't get much value killing elite and normal monsters on the map, more that you need. And I'm sure that it will be the same here in Honkai Star Rail eventually. But we are in the early stages of the game where we have a lot of characters to build and many characters to look forward to. So for me it's still 100% worth it, but I would only recommend it to people who can enjoy the process, or at least do it as a side activity while watching my stream, or watching my other videos on YouTube, or joining my Discord and share some memes, or share some art that is sort of safe for work. Because I have a few art, you know, smaller channels for Genshin Impact and for Honkai Star Rail on my Discord, but I try to keep them relatively safe for work. Relatively. I don't want stuff that is too obnoxiously disgusting and heretic on my Discord. I have no problem browsing for Chan while I'm on the phone on a bus. Like, absolutely zero problem. If people next to me see something odd, that's their problem. Don't pick at my phone, you absolute piece of garbage. But I don't want to, you know, I open my Discord channel, I go to the art channel, and it looks like Candace Mains on Reddit. If you've never been on Candace Mains on Reddit, don't. It's absolutely cursed. It's basically a hentai illegal channel. I would not be surprised if a few months here from now there will be videos recollecting the history of a guy who funded Kandei's mains and many of the degenerate mains subreddit, because it's always the same guy. Could you please activate the fight? And it turns out that he's a pedophile and he's trying to lure kids into his secret illegal Discord or stuff like that, because it's absolutely disgusting. So if you've never been on the Kandei's mains, don't. And a thing that triggered me basically on day 1 of Honkai Star Rail was that my second 5-star character was Bailu, and I was very happy about it, because Chi-Chi is one of my favorite characters in Genshin Impact, and Bailu is a sort of equivalent of Chi-Chi in Honkai Star Rail, although she's so much better than Chi-Chi that there is no comparison from that point of view. And oh, there is just one more monster left. And I wanted to go to see if I could find some cute images of Bailu to put here on the screen, like there is the sleepy Bailu here, if the stream is showing it, yes. Oh, but the chat is not showing, why? Hold on a moment, why is the chat not working? I mean, it's not showing on screen. That's really weird, it's not working. Like, I can see the chat next to me on my monitor, but it's not working in OBS. Which is something that happened last week as well, but I already updated with everything, so I guess today we will have no chat on screen. Feels bad, man. Let me see if I can hopefully very quickly fix the issue. New source. Browser. New chat. Let's see if it works. It works now. Okay. That's really odd. I don't understand why sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I think we can... let's cut it like this, make it a bit smaller. And we put it here. There you go. This was the last monster in on Jarilo 4. So, Jarilo 6. So, if you are a bit short on time, I would suggest you to stop here with the farming. If you have time, you can move to the Xianzhou Luofu, also known as Space Lee, and can start farming here, but it takes quite a bit of time. We start here. And in this area, you may recognize there are some puzzles of things that you need to move left and right and left and right. So after you completed all these puzzles and you got all the chests, you completed the quest and everything, you want to leave them in a way that allows you to follow this path so that you can actually, you know, kill stuff easily without wasting time. My very first farming expedition was a bit painful from the point of view because here in Space Lee some of our containers were not lined up properly. I need to find the correct way to line them up. And then there are some teleports that happen later in the game that can lead you to different directions and you need to set them up properly. So it was a little bit painful, but now that everything is set up well, it's not actually too bad. It's an activity that I enjoy. Unfortunately, these fights are not as enjoyable / as quick as the fights on the Herta Station and Jarilo VI. These are much slower, monsters resurrect, they're higher level, and especially without Sealy taking a little bit longer. But I do not want to waste 40,000 XP on a 4th character each day, so I always do it with Sushan. The annoying thing is, lower characters in this game deal way less damage than in Genshin Impact. After this we can teleport here, instead of walking. Oh, I hear some drilling, nice. My cursed neighbors have started drilling again. Because in Genshin Impact, the difference in damage output between a character who is 80 or 90 is very limited unless it relies on some specific elemental reactions. But here, even normal attacks and elemental skills and burst, the damage is heavily influenced by the attack, by the difference in level with your target. So all my characters, apart from Zili, right now are dealing way less damage than they could, because they're low level. But I want to wait. Hello, Donald Oliver, thank you. Thanks a lot, that's very nice to hear. Speaking of Genshin, has the Abyss reset? Because today is Thursday. And from here we want to go back. We could teleport, but we can also go back. And between walking and teleporting, I tend to prefer walking, just because I enjoy the view. We'll go in this direction. I believe the Abyss reset even today or yesterday. So I guess later I will be doing an Abyss clear. It's good Primogems, and I'm very short on Primogems. Not far from now we will have the patch of my nightmares with Yaemiko and Kazuha. And how to build wealth correctly. Yeah, there are two ways to build wealth. You can either build him as a DPS or essentially as a premium version of Pela. Because well, okay, let me kill this guy because we already aggroed him. There is a light cone that characters from the same variety as well can use, which reduces defense. So, considering that wealth already reduces speed, which is very good, if you give him that light cone, which I will show you in a minute, he ends up being a guy who reduces speed on the enemies, which is very valuable, and reduces defense, which is very valuable, all in one single kit, and it's great. His damage output is not amazing. It will go up a little bit if you want to farm his set, the imaginary set, but I do not find, at least for my teams, I do not find damage to be the things he should focus on. This light cone, it ensnares the enemy, and the effect on ensnare is a 15% defense decrease, which is not as good as the debuff from Pela. Pela debuffs more than this, but it adds more utility to Wealth Kit. And in terms of relics, right now I'm using this set because I have farmed a bit the imaginary damage set, but I do not have good pieces, so I'm sticking to this until I can find something better. And stats, I gave him crit and attack, although there is something to be said about completely ignoring his damage output and using, well, you can still use crit here, but you give him speed in the boots, imaginary damage here, energy recharge here. Because especially if you use him as a debuffer mostly, he's going to provide a ton of value for your team, but you want him to be able to use the burst all the time. And if you have something like crit here, speed on the boots, imaginary damage here, energy recharge here, he's going to deal very little damage, but some damage. Provide a ton of utility for your team and act very, very often. So overall it's going to be very valuable. And we cleared everything here in the northern path of Cloudford. We want to go to the southern path, the very, very deep south here. Eventually I will definitely try to get Wealth Lightcorn from the shop, but I still need a bit of currency. Yeah. I don't have it, and it's very, very good for him, and it's very good for a lot of Nihility characters. Like, for Sampo, this is absolutely amazing. But at the moment I use him mostly as a debuffer, so I don't feel like using a lot of resources to increase his damage. In this team, yes. Chicken Girl is my main damage dealer because my Zili is level 70, so she will not be getting any XP from doing this farming run, and I don't want to waste XP. Zili would... I think that if I had the Zili I would have already finished the run by now. I've been doing it for almost 1 hour, and yeah, the run would have already finished. She deals less damage than Silly, quite significantly, but she's very, very good and more than enough to clear all the content in the game. So the 3 damage dealers that I'm leveling up right now are Sushang, Sampo, and Serval. Himeko is built at 60, but she's so bad that I had to put her a little bit in the backlog of characters to build, because her damage output is very questionable. Now, to be fair, when I play her together with the Serval against enemies that are vulnerable to those 2 elements, so lightning and fire, their combo is exceptional. Because Serval deals lightning damage over time with her shock, so she's very good at taking down shields that are vulnerable to that. And Himeko will deal damage over time with burning. So the 2 combined just deal so much damage over time, and Himeko's follow-up attack triggers all the time. You got 2 copies of her. Yeah, she looks fun, she's very good. So, in the later stages of the game, in the simulated universe, the Memory of Chaos, where you find enemies that are vulnerable to physical damages, she's going to destroy them. Because she's really, really good at breaking physical damage weakness, and she deals a lot of damage. And her most important Eidolon is the first one. So if you got 2 copies of her, you're already set. Everything else is just extra. Because she's very skill point hungry. Very, very skill point hungry. But her Eidolon, her first Eidolon gives her an extra skill point when she breaks weakness, which she does all the time. And it helps her a lot. Really, really a lot. In the simulated universe, or even in the Memory of Chaos, you know, anytime that you fight Jeopard, who is vulnerable to physical damage, if you have a Sushang, oh, Jeopard is going to have a very bad time. Very, very bad. Because you break his weakness basically in no time. And my Sushang build is awful. Absolutely awful. The light cone, well, is the free-to-play that we can get from clearing the simulation, not the simulation universe, the mirror thingy. We can get this for free. The traces are like this. The build is very random. It's like 2 pieces of this, 2 pieces of this. This set is actually okay for her, and I have attack and physical damage, but they're not really omega amazing. Hello, my dude. You are vulnerable to the 3 elements that I do not have in my team. Lily stepped on your power cable. Rip Boomduck. Your kid is so cute, but she's also so evil. Basically, every time you tell me a story about your cat, it's something like that. In the middle of ranked. You know, there is a subreddit. There is a subreddit called what's the name? Fuck you in particular. And I think that half of the subreddit could be fueled just with your stories with Lilith. And here we cleared everything in Cloudford. We can go to the next map, which is this one. We can start from the very top, from this teleport, the Astral Cottage. You main Chinchua and you want to save for Silver Hurricane Girl. Yeah, what's her name? Silver... Oh, Silver Wolf! Yeah, I want Silver Wolf so much. That's why I'm saving my leftover Jades after getting his Lightcon. There are too many characters that I want in the coming patches. Like, I want Silver Wolf, Luocha, Kafka, Blade, like, Fave, put them all together. Like, not really together, but one after the other. And at the same time, in Genshin Impact, they put Yaemiko and Kazuha for I want Constellations. And I cannot do Swiperuni. Wallet Kun is not ready for that. So... I decided that I will pull for new characters and in Honkai Star Rail and use the few Primogens that I have, trying to go for... Well, mostly I will try to get Cat Girl, Kirara. Because I like her kit a lot and I want to play her in Nilu teams. But we'll have to see if I can get her, if I can get Constellation for Yainiko or Kazura. My hopes are very low. She tried to do it again. Well, you can decide if you want to go for value or let's say immediate healing, although the immediate healing is basically a month from now. Luocha's kit seems very good and it seems to synergize extremely well with the characters who stay on the field and deal damage attacking. Because Luocha will have the recovery on hit ability. So my guess is he will synergize well with destruction characters, hunt characters, you know, that kind of on-field damage dealer character. But Bailu is in the standard banner and she's absolutely amazing as a healer. And eventually you're bound to get her. Either from the standard banner or by losing the 50-50 on a limited banner. So it depends how much you like Luocha. If you like his design, his playstyle, and you think that it could synergize with characters that you have or that you will have, I think it's going to be a very safe pool. But if you don't want to run the risk of having Luocha and Bailu and then only playing one of them, I think you can wait. Bailu is Chi-Chi. Kinda, yeah. But she's so much better than Chi-Chi. If Chi-Chi had a kit similar to Bailu, everyone would be very happy getting Chi-Chi from the standard banner in Genshin Impact. Because Bailu is basically a Constellation 6 Chi-Chi, Constellation 6 Chi-Chi, who generates energy for the team and heals a lot. She's amazing in this game. And we cleared everything here, so we can move to the next stage, which is going to be a very long path starting from here. We're basically going to cover the whole map. I was happy about getting Bailu regardless, just because I'm a Chi-Chi fan in Genshin Impact, but my god, she's so good in this game. She carried me so much. And her resurrection ability is something that you can use offensively. Because there are some turns in the game that you would really like to activate an ability to deal damage, but you cannot, because you need to save some skill points for a healer to heal up. But if you have a resurrection still available on Bailu, you can go full out attack using your skill points on your main damage dealers. And when one of your characters dies, it's okay, Bailu brings it back. It's so good. Yeah, Bailu resurrects automatically. Only once per fight, but she automatically resurrects the first character who dies. Without having to do anything. So the moment one of your characters dies, you get the resurrection instantly. Basically off screen, you don't need to input anything. You want to get Jinyuan, but you're afraid of losing 50-50 and getting Echo. That would be rough. Very rough. Bailu is nuts, yeah. Bailu is such a good healer. Unfortunately, she does not have any cleanse ability. So she cannot remove debuff on your characters, and she cannot remove buffs on the enemy. She's just a pure healer, but as a pure healer, she's incredible. She works very well in teams with Bronya, because Bronya, with her elemental skill, she removes a debuff on your characters. Meaning that Bailu keeps everyone alive, and if there is a really obnoxious debuff on one of your characters, you can remove it with Bronya. But unfortunately, this team does not remove anything from the opponent. Do you want Shepard over Clara? Yeah. I would say that apart from Himeko, every character on the standard banner is very good. Yanshin is incredible later in the game, in the Memory of Chaos, because he's the best ice damage dealer and he deals a ton of damage, almost on par with Zilli. Yeah, this direction is fine. Although Yanshin requires a little bit of more babysitting compared to Zilli. And he works very well with Shepard, so you kinda want to have both. He's a Yaka, not really, no. We still have to see a character like Ayaka, but he's very, very good. Yo, Kawaii Potato! Hello, welcome. Welcome to the grind. I'm doing the full map grind. Bronya was your first 5-star. That's pretty lucky. If I had to start an account from scratch and I could have one guaranteed character, like from the moment I start the account, it would have to be Bronya. She's so insanely good. Should you wish for a weapon too? For who? And which weapon? Are you talking the current weapon, the Jingyuan weapon? It's very good, but it's basically good on Himeko and Serval and, you know, that kind of character. So if you do not have those kind of characters, you are not going to use the weapon. On someone like Serval, it's basically 40% better than her signature 4-star Lightcon, and 40% better is a lot. But I mean, it's a 4-star, so... You soloed World 5 with Shepard? Oh my god! Yeah, my Shepard is still built slightly questionably, but mostly because I need to farm relics to use for his relics as fodder. I'm always out of fodder in this bloody game. Let's keep going. Well, they have the same element and the same kind of weapon, but they're a very different kind of character, because Serval is more damage over time dealer, because she applies a shock, and a good part of her kit is about refreshing the shock and dealing extra damage to characters that are shocked. Whereas Jing Yuan is a dude who puts something on the timeline of the fight here, and what thing triggers it one-shots the universe. So they have a different playstyle. He is very good. So if you like the guy, you can definitely pull for him. But it also depends on your future plans, because, you know, Jing Yuan followed by Silver Wolf, followed by Luocha, followed by Kafka, followed by Blade, and Fushuan, we already know all her kit, so I'm guessing she will not be too far away. That's a lot of characters in a short amount of time. Oh, you crafted your relic! Oh my god. I do not have the courage to do it yet. But I'm really guessing that eventually it will be an energy recharge relic as well. Did I go the wrong way? Oh my god, I went the wrong way. It's not an insane time waste, but Yeah, I went the wrong way. Yeah, his follow-up attack really deals a ton of damage. And if you pick the path that increases the damage of your follow-up attacks, it just becomes ludicrous. When you get to the bosses, you just one-shot stuff. Currently, if I wanted to craft a relic, picking the main stat, it will probably be the same as you, Kawaii Potato. Even either an energy recharge piece, very, very likely, or maybe a crit chest for some characters. But it looks like getting energy recharge has way lower chances than other stats, because I got so few. There is no way they have the same chances of occurring. Let's go the proper direction, which is from here. The Jingen Con for Herta. I got it mostly for a serval, because I actually use the serval very often in the Memory of Chaos, but also to see if Himeko will become a playable character of this game. Because that light cone is amazing for Himeko. She's the only character who benefits from it completely, apart from Jin Yuan. Because that light cone has a part that improves follow-up attacks. And Zerval does not do follow-up attacks. But Himeko does. So maybe she will become decent. No, don't use fuel to level 240. Don't. You save all the fuel after 40. Because all the fuel that you use after 40 will give you better rewards from Omer Calyxes. You will start to get guaranteed gold relics from the Caverns of Corrosion. And you can get double relics in the simulated universe. So don't use the fuel. Take a day or an extra day or two. Since I ran the wrong direction, I may be a little bamboozled, but I think I cleared everything here. I need to check my map. Give me a second. Yeah, I killed everything here. Because all the fuel that you use now is going to be... you're going to regret it later. You're really, really going to regret it. I regret using all my fuel at 40. I should have saved a bit for 50. Yeah, Himeko is cool when you're fighting a boss that summons a lot of trash. When that happens, Himeko pretty solid. But against bosses that are one dude and that only have a few monsters at the beginning of a fight, she feels really bad. Yeah, it's better to wait. You're going to regret using full before 40. After 40 it's okay. Don't go too overboard. Because after 50 it will be even better. Because after 50 we can get purple components from the Calyxes. And it saves a lot of energy. But if after 40 you want to use, I don't know, 10, 15 fuel, whatever you want, to grind some relics, it's worth it. Time to grind in Genshin. I've not logged in Genshin yet today. Because there are no events that are worth doing right now. I do not remember if VAB is reset, but I think it did. I believe it did. Two monsters here. But my Primogen situation in Genshin is really dire. I have like maybe 30 pools, maybe. And next patch I would like 2 constellations on Yamiko and 1 on Kavka. So yeah. It's going to be rough. I'm going to need the full kawaii potato power next patch. For people who are watching and don't know, and for people who will see the video later after I uploaded, after I upload, you know, the farming session, every time that I pull for Genshin Impact characters and Kawaii Potato is in the chat, he instructs me where to go, and my pulls are incredible. So my only hope is for Kawaii Potato to be online when I pull. Might use your 300 guaranteed on Bailo. Yeah, that's a very convenient, a very comfy character to have. Very, very comfy. She's just so good. And Luocha is basically 2 months away, because we have 3 weeks of Jin Yuan, followed by 3 weeks of Silver Wolf, and then there is Luocha, so it's like a month and a half to 2 months away. So 4 stars may not apply, oh no. But apart from Himeko, all the 5 stars on the standard banner have their uses, and they're very good. My first pick will be Bronya for sure, on an empty account. But after that, between Clara and Yanqing and Bailu and Welt, it's harder. Way, way harder. Who am I missing? I have a feeling that I'm missing one of the characters. That I named all of them apart from one. Himeko, Yanqing... Oh, Jeopard, right. I forgot to mention Jeopard, but even Jeopard is a great pick. I want to go this way. I got ambushed by a dude in front of me. Feels bad, man. How far have we been going? An hour and 10 minutes so far. Yeah, but it will still take a while. There are so many monsters here in Space League. Basically, every day I play on Honkai Star Rail, I would say between 2 and 3 hours, depending on how much time I have available, and an hour and a half / 2 hours are dedicated to this farming run. And my remaining time, in addition to the daily activities like quests, commission and stuff like that, I do simulated universe runs to get rewards from killing the elites. Here we want to go to this teleport in the north, because we can do a huge circle here. You're missing Himeko, Welt, Bronya and Bailu. Between those I would suggest Bronya. But Bailu is... she's very good. Very, very good. Oh, great. When we can have them connect each other, it's just so convenient. I picked the Himeko with the 300 guarantee, and I regret it so much. So much. 1, for performance. 2, because after getting Himeko for the 300 guaranteed and using the resources to get her signature light cone, my 2 following 5-star pools, 1 from the standard banner and 1 from a limited banner, were Himeko and her light cone. So I have Himeko, Eidolon 1, and her light cone at superimposition. I think it, like when you get a copy, it's superimposition 2. It's so annoying. Because I could have had Clara, who is the only character that I'm missing. And who is very good. You can do a lot of fun stuff with Clara solo runs. But mistakes were made. I rushed too much, I got Himeko, and I got punished for that. still have a lot to kill. Like, not here in this fight, but here in general on Space League. But I remember the first time that I did, that I showcased my full farming route in Genshin Impact. Even that was very long. Because my full farming route was not just the artifact fodder, which is, I don't know, 20 minutes? Maybe less than that if you're using characters with extra speed. But killing all the elites in the map, I believe it took me an hour and a half, if not 2 hours. Yeah, hopefully you will get either Bronya or Bailu, you know, while pulling randomly, so you can pick the other one with your guaranteed. Because you can use Natasha in place of Bailu, and you can use Tingyun in place of Bronya. It's not the same, but they pretty much cover the same role. The problem arrives later when you start to do Memory of Chaos runs and you need two teams. It's still doable with just one healer, but you need the tank, the shielder of your other team to be built very, very well. Well, you have Jeopard, so that's good, but people who do not have Jeopard need to build Fire main character and March the 7th very well to survive. And that's just for clearing, not full star clearing. I'm not able to full star clear the Memory of Chaos yet. 'Cause I focused on characters that I enjoy playing and that I like more than meta characters. So every time that I clear a Memory of Chaos, I have a look at the next one. Oh, cool! I need an element for which I have 0 built characters. And it's the reason why recently I'm building Sushang, Sampo, and Serval. Okay, then we go back a little bit. There are a few monsters. There are a few monsters here on the east, at the edge of the map, and then we can change them. Fushuan, oh! I was wondering what kind of character she could be, because she gave me healer vibes when I saw her. Turns out that she's not a healer, she's a shielder. And her kit looks very, very good, according to leaks. But we shall see, because her release is still very far. Not before the 1.3. And for the 1.4 we are talking about what? 4 months away, more or less? So anything could change, really. I like that in the leaks subreddit for Genshin Impact we are starting to get crumbs for Focalor. But I don't care too much about lore crumbs, because that is something that we will learn in-game anyway. I care more about kit crumbs, and there is nothing yet. There are just really, really minor mentions of what kind of things she may do, and I don't find that particularly interesting. But for some reason, everything about Honkai Star Rail got leaked for several months in the future. I wonder why and how. And I wonder how it's possible that everything is still up on Reddit. Because when there was a huge flood of Fontaine characters on Reddit, they got a DMCA and they had to take down everything pretty quickly. And I remember it was, what, 10 characters, maybe 12 characters from Fontaine. But the leaks in Star Rail have been way worse, because we got leaked more than 20 characters, including the kit and the Eidolons to the last detail. But they're still there. And nothing has happened to the true leaks subreddit. So I wonder if MiHoYo doesn't mind too much, and so they will not go to overboard in nuking leakers in Honkai Star Rail. And it may be the reason why... Oh, by the way, we're done here in the Divination Commission. We can go to the Artisanship Commission, and we can start from here, the top right. I wonder it may be the reason why a lot of the top leakers left Genshin Impact and moved to Honkai Star Rail a long time ago, and they're leaking a lot of stuff in Honkai Star Rail. Apparently free of charge. Like, nothing is happening to them. It's super weird. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I remember when in Honkai Impact, MiHoYo doesn't mind about leaks. In Genshin Impact, they get really pissed off about leaks, to the point of suing leakers for thousands of dollars. Star Rail seems to be pretty chill for now. I don't know. I really wonder why they want to keep things in Genshin Impact so secret. It's part of it too. Some of the side quests and activities and events in Star Rail are so good because of the writing. It's really a fun game. It also feels more serious because I mentioned it, I think last week during the stream, that the quest that is Natasha's character quest, we did not get anything similar to that in Genshin Impact. Oh yeah, it's in the Fight Club, yeah. Apparently there is going to be an event in the Fight Club. I believe it's going to be during this second half of the patch, during Jing Yuan's banner. They were going to get some events in the Fight Club. I'm looking forward to it, because, yeah, the dude who takes care of the Fight Club is a douche. He's an awful human being, but I like the idea of the Fight Club itself. You go there, you fight some people, and things happen. Although even there was a very sad side story. Scott is horrible. Scott is a piece of trash. I wish I could run a car in Honkai Star Rail to run him over. Hoping that he will not respond the following day. Yeah, it's probably going to have something to do with Luca. Luca, for people who don't know, is the dude in this Lycon, this one. He's clearly in a Fight Club situation, so he's very likely a character that is going to be introduced during that event or sometime soon. Lightcons have a lot of characters that were not been introduced yet. Go Gigacock! Okay, then we need to have a little bit of a walk here. Hello, my dude. No, this one unfortunately does not activate. They bamboozled me a bit. Because while I was doing my first time map exploration, I was going next to all of them, wondering how come some of them activate, some of them don't. And I still do not have an answer to that. I was really hoping they would all activate, but only some of them do. And if you're leveling up Sealy, this Liyue, Space Liyue part is going to be very quick for you. Because a lot of monsters here in Space Lee are vulnerable to quantum damage, and she's going to have a very good time. But I do not want to waste XP, so my Zeal is having a little bit of rest. I mean, she's having rest every time that I do this. Yeah, the characterization of her burst is definitely interesting. One of the things that I liked about Bailu is when we get introduced to her and our characters rightfully assume that she's a kid and asking where are her parents. And she's like, what? Just because I look like a kid you expect me to have parents? No, I'm a self-reincarnating dragon race. What? Easily one of my favorite characters in the game. And when you get here, you need to make sure that all your teleports are turned the right way, otherwise you're going to get bamboozled and end up there. There is a chest there, by the way, the first time that you get to that place, but you want to set it in a different way when you start doing the farming route. And Bailu is also very self-conscious about height, because every day when we log in there is a message from a character, and one of the messages from Bailu is her asking for ways to help one of her patients to grow taller. And when you give her the suggestion, she's like, no, I already tried, it doesn't work for my patient. She's like a high energy Chi-Chi with a better kid, basically the perfect Chi-Chi. Her and Pela should start a club, yeah. But at least Bailu is a child, I can understand it. Pela is just short. Poor Pela. She's definitely on my backlog of characters to finish building, because I leveled her up to 50, and then when... Hold on a moment, I'm bamboozling myself, right? Yeah, I bamboozled myself a little bit. And then I ended up realizing that I had too many supports build and not enough damage dealers for the Memory of Chaos. Bella can still drink. Yes. There is a Pela drunk text? I never got that. I'm really looking forward to that. It has not happened to me yet. Today the message from me was from him, from Arlan. I resonated with his message a lot, by the way, because he basically wrote a shopping list and list of things to do, but instead of saving it as a message, he sent it to me. And it's something that happens to me all the time. That I take a note of something to do as a message online or on some other app, and I send it to my wife or to my father by mistake. And so my wife is like, Sir Gradelot, what do you mean? What do you mean giant purple dildo? And I'm like, oh no, that's for my friend. Don't worry about it. Okay, and after that we go to this teleport. Go up the stairs here. The other day, my dad sent me a video to show me that there was a water leakage in the train station of our hometown, to complain about the local government. And then I went to sleep, and then when I woke up, he told me, no, it's not true, that was a fake news. And so he complained about fake news. He went on a tirade all by himself. Complaining about the government and the fake news in messages with me. I was about to reply to him, sir, this is a Wendy's. But you would not get the reference because my dad is like 80. The hexagon people. But did you do all the quests? Because at the end it gives you a lot of rewards when you unlock all the hexagons. All the... what are they called? The John Lee's burst, basically. I was shocked when I found out that it just kept adding things to the map. Like, I could not believe it. Like, what? You keep giving me things to do, game? Are you out of your mind? Because it didn't feel like something that MiHoYo would do. Mission after mission after mission, puzzle after puzzle, all giving rewards. Man, the first couple of weeks were so good. Oh, you have not unlocked all of them, okay. The first 2 weeks there was so much stuff to do in the game. Amazing for a game that is not open world. Because there are the hexagon puzzles that keep going, and you get new and new stuff. And then there are some quests that are... where is it? It's not here. Maybe it's in Cloud. Yeah, here. Here there is a quest with the puzzle to let the ships dock that goes over 3 days. And even here there is one that goes over 3 days. So you need to physically go there every day, like real-time day for 3 days, to actually complete the quest. And every time there are new puzzles, new things to do. It feels great. The game slows down a little bit after that, and the rewards slow down as well, but there's a lot to do. Your pugs are rolling around right now, being silly. Pugs are great. But is there any occasion in which pugs don't look silly? Because even when they just sit there looking around, they look silly. In a good way, in a good, funny way. My daughter is always in love with the pugs, bulldogs, and things like, and dogs like that, just because they look so different compared to other dogs. The shape of the face mostly. And she keeps telling me, Daddy, why is their nose so short? What happened to her nose? And I always come up with weird stories about other dogs eating their nose, or maybe they were not being careful, they hit the wall, so their nose got squashed, or they were going down the stairs, but they were not holding the railway well, they fell, so their nose got... You know, stories to terrorize my daughter so that she will be more careful about the things that she does. Just, you know, regular parents stuff. It's not the direction. Yeah, correct. I'm starting to remember. Very resting faces with their tongue. Yes, indeed. I'm glad that my brain has a pretty good photographic memory, because otherwise I would never be able to remember this farming path. Like, I gave up my memory for numbers and names in exchange for good photographic memory. It's a trade-off that I've had ever since I was a kid, and it's probably going to be like that forever. Until I start forgetting everything and I will feel just bad about myself. But hopefully that's still a bit far from now. It's the opposite for you. Yeah, each person memory is different. Like, I don't know you in person, Kawaii Potato, and I don't know your name, I don't know where you live, you know, all this sort of stuff. If one day we met somewhere and you told me your name, Within half an hour, it would be gone. I would have no idea about your name. But we clearly remember everything about you, like the way you look, the way you were dressed, where we met, the place around us. Got the numbers, but no photograph. Oh, I'm terrible with numbers. Really, really bad. Phone numbers, dates, birthdays. Oh my god. Birthdays are my arch nemesis. But the thing that usually embarrasses me are the names. Because it's not out of evil doing that, like, I forget the name of people because I despise them. I do not remember the name. My brain does not recall the name of people. I work in IT, and my team has about 15 people. I can instantly remember the name of 4 people out of 15. And those 4 people, I've worked with them for 7 years. My team members who are newer than that, I do not remember the names. I have to think about it very, very carefully. And I only remember it because in their cubicle, they have their name showed up. So if I want to think of a name of one of my team members, I need to remember in which cubicle they are, and then my brain brings up a JPEG with the name that is in that cubicle. I remember everything about the cubicle. I remember the name on it, how many monitors they have, how many computers they have, the decorations. I remember the position of the rubbish bin. I remember it perfectly, like a photograph. For their name, I need to think about it very, 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 very long. You're terrible with birthdays. Well, let's say this. I remember very well my wife's birthday because it's very convenient. I remember my best friend's birthday. For the others, including my parents, I really need to think about it very carefully. Not off the top of my head, I need to think about it very carefully. My wife's birthday is very convenient. Very, very convenient. I don't want to dox her, so I will not say when her birthday is, but it's the first day of a month. So that was easy for me to remember. Now you may be thinking, Sir Grindelot, what about your daughter's birthday? Well, let me tell you a story about my daughter's birthday. She was supposed to be born on a date which was the 11th. She didn't want to be born on that date. She didn't want to come out. And we didn't want to force her, so we waited. We waited for a few days. And eventually we went to the doctor again, and she said, oh, okay, we need to give you some stuff to make sure that you will give birth. And she was born in the night between 2 days. Both my wife and I sometimes get confused. Like, was she born on the 13th or the 14th? And then we think about it for a moment. Oh, no, it was already the 14th. But sometimes we get bamboozled by that. And as we talk about that, congratulations, we finished the farming route. And from start to finish, it took me 1 hour and 30 minutes. Because the recording time of this video that people will see on YouTube later is 130. And let's see the improvement on some of my characters. For example, Sushan was around here. She's almost 61. Bailu, almost 62. Oh, we're so close. Look at that. Oh, Welt made it to 61. He was close to 61. We made it to 61. And we made it well past the gap. And it's a very good way to make XP. It's very, very good way to make XP, for now. I'm sure that past level 70, you do a full farming route, it's like 0.05%. You do it once, you give up with your life and you stop doing it. But if you are in the early game, and like your characters are at 50 and you ascended them, or at 60 and you ascended them, this is a very, very good source of daily XP. For reference, my John Lee in Genshin Impact is level 85. I never used XP books on him past level 80. I got into 85 just killing stuff on the map over the course of 2 years. And here it's the same, she's basically 61, she is almost 62, just killing stuff on the map. Considering that each of these books gives 20 XP, basically by doing this every day, you're using 2 of these on each of your characters for free. So 8 books of these every day for free. It's pretty good value, pretty good value, if you have the time to do it and if you can handle it, because again, with the subpar characters, it's a hour and a half to 2 hours if you're not built particularly well. So, considering that the group farming video is over, we will say bye-bye to our YouTube friends, and I will see you next time as I stop the recording.